will join me in welcoming to speak to you for a minute, Jeff Fleming, our city manager.
All right. Thank you very much. My voice does not carry. I apologize for that. But I do want to just say if we had planned this sooner, we wouldn't have had the problem with trying to grow the grass. We had a drought before today, so it's no secret that Kingsport has developed a reputation of change, renewal, and reimagination. We've learned to seize opportunities. We've learned to innovate and embrace change. We've learned that when one door closes, another one opens. All you have to do is look around town and you can see many examples. A closed book plant became a downtown farmer's market. A grocery store, which is now a grocery, restaurants, medical, and professional offices. A closed truck terminal is now Kingsport Pavilion Shopping Center. A bankrupt mall was Eaststone Commons. Several old buildings downtown have now become the academic village with 2,800 students aspiring for a degree in higher education. And today, we celebrate the latest transformation. An old brick plant is becoming reborn as Brickyard Park. Soon, hundreds of athletes and fans will gather here, aspiring to be champions. They'll gather under that Brickyard sign that we just all walked under, and they'll proudly celebrate their achievements from this knoll overlooking downtown Kingsport and Bays Mountain. When Eastman announced its Project Inspire, it soon became public knowledge that their private ball fields would become their new corporate headquarters for a global company that calls Kingsport home. A transition team was commissioned to find an alternate location that fit within budgetary constraints and maximized economic impact. This site was deemed ideal because it's 5 minutes from Domtar Park, 5 minutes from Meadowview, 5 minutes from the Aquatic Center and Dobbins Bennett. It's 7 minutes to Hunter Wright Stadium or Sullivan South, and it is 11 minutes to Sullivan North. So it's a central location overlooking downtown Kingsport. It represents a $7 million investment into infrastructure that will be enjoyed by visitors and residents alike, and there's room for future expansion. I'd like to recognize the transition team, Miles Burdine, Cheryl Harvey with Eastman Community Relations, Kitty Frazier. Kitty's probably the only person that's been here longer than me for the City of Kingsport and has a great history. Andy Sigwalt, City of Kingsport. Joe Douthit, Eastman Recreation. David Strickler, Eastman Recreation. Judd Teague with KCVB. Frank Lett, KCVB. Reba Barber of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. Steve Robbins with the City of Kingsport. And Connie Marshall with Northeast State. And the chair that held it all together was Chris McCart, Assistant City Manager. Chris is my right arm, and this is just the latest project that he has overseen and successfully steered to completion. I gave him a picture framed earlier this morning of this park, and it joins the Broad Street streetscape and also the Farmers Market and Aquatic Center as projects that he's managed. And I'm eternally grateful, as are the people of Kingsport. Other key contributors, thank you. Other key contributors, raise your hands as I call your name. Members of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee, Barge, Wagner, Sumner, and Cannon, especially Jennifer Salyer, who brought our ideas to life. Denark Construction, yep. David Mason, Construction Manager with the City of Kingsport. Members of the Riverview community, thank you so much for your patience during the construction process. I hope that we've brought honor to this place that you called Clay Hill growing up. Former City Manager John Campbell. John, thank you for all you've done. Any county commissioners that are present? All right, Pat. Members of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen and Alderman-elect, thank you so much for what you've done. 2017 marks the 100th anniversary of our city, and I hope you'll take note that the address of this facility is 2017 Brickyard Park Drive. This is just the first official nod to what we'll be celebrating in 2017, and I look forward to what the next 100 years will bring, and I can't help but feel that we've left things a little bit better for our children and our grandchildren than we found them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. Ladies and gentlemen, the past 10 years, we've seen significant improvement in our community. significant growth, lots of new projects that have been very important to the future of our city. If you'll please join me in welcoming the leader of the city of Kingsport for the past 10 years, the Honorable Mayor Dennis Phillips.
After Jeff, I have nothing else to say. Before I do my remarks, let me call on Dr. Brian Nolan from East Tennessee State just to give us a minute. But relationships are so important, and Dr. Nolan has done what no one else before him has, and that is develop a real relationship with Kingsport. He has, the last count I had, over 300 students in downtown Kingsport, and he's become a big part of the academic village area, and I just want to know we expect more of those. Dr. Nolan.
Thank you. I'll keep this brief, but the rain cannot dampen the spirit of enthusiasm that's here today. Sports hold the promise of future. Teamwork provides a foundation of leadership that will help the young men and women who are here with us today grow and to evolve. I look forward to seeing the next generation of Buccaneers come up on these fields. Coach Tony Skoll and our team 2 years ago were in the College World Series, and I know that from these fields will come other individuals who will follow in the footsteps of countless generations of citizens of Kingsport who've attended college at East Tennessee State University. As an institution that was formed 104 years ago for a single purpose, and that is to improve the quality of life for the people of East Tennessee, we're honored to be a part of this community. Kingsport is home. We are proud to be a part of the things that are happening in downtown, and Dennis, I'm honored to have a chance to be here today. Yes, thank you.
One of the reasons, in my opinion, that Kingsport has enjoyed the success that we have for the past 15 years is because when we have an election, the new mayor and the new alderman don't feel like that everything that's been done has to be thrown out the window. When I was elected mayor, Jeanette Blazer had been a very successful mayor. My idea was to take what she had started and move it forward. And I think that's what we've done, and there's been a lot of things accomplished in 15 years. There will be more things accomplished in the next 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 years under the leadership of our new mayor. This community elected John Clark mayor because I think they felt like he would continue the progress that has been started in the past 15 years. And we still have many things that we need to do, but John's got challenges that we've already went over some of, and we know very well what they are, very capable. And up to the task of accepting those challenges and doing an outstanding job with them. So remember, in politics, everything that your predecessor has done is not incorrect. There's a lot of good things that have been done that I need to continue to forward progress, and it takes people like you all, and that's why you have this conflict. And we have to say, we would have never had these ball fields at Eastman Chemical Company not decided to spend a little sum of money in Kingsport. And that caused these ball fields to be we should never gather together if we don't thank our industry for what they do. Eastman, thank you for investing in Kingsport. I've asked John Clark if you please say a few words. About 20 minutes is it, Etta.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say how excited I am to be a part of the new board. I also want to say thank you to the previous boards that helped Dennis and the rest of the city achieve goals like this. Quality of life investments for me are really twofold. One major objective is to improve the quality of life for all of our current residents who live here. This ballpark obviously achieves that goal tremendously. The second one is the economic impact that our quality of life investments actually have on our city in a real positive way. The projection is that over the next year or so, this ballpark will probably generate over $4 million in indirect revenue for our local businesses, our hotels, our restaurants, and our retail shops as well. So that's the second aspect of a quality of life investment. And what I love about Kingsport is that every time Kingsport decides to do something, they do something first class in a big way so that we can achieve those two goals. So I'm very fortunate and thrilled to be a part of a team with a new board as well that also wants to do more improvements to help improve the quality of life for all of our residents and help attract businesses and also revenue to our existing businesses. So I look forward to working with all of you on that front. Thank you.
Next to the podium, please welcome the Senior Vice President and Chief Legal Officer for Eastman Chemical Company, Mr. David Golden, who's also a wonderful friend, a great supporter of the citizens of the City of Kingsport. Mr. David Golden.
Can you hear me okay? Yeah. I'm reminded on a day like today of our 9th President of the United States, William Henry Harrison, spoke at an inauguration once, you may remember, 1841. He spoke for 2 hours and died 31 days later because he spoke too long in bad weather. I don't plan to do that today. But what I do plan to say is thank you. My family and I have lived in Kingsport for 20 years now. We just hit our 20th year. And I can tell you, it's amazing what Kingsport can do when it decides to do something. It's like Kingsport's incapable of doing something halfway. When it does something great. It brings the community together, and it does something like this. I don't know how many of you have memories of growing up playing on a ball field somewhere. Those wonderful summer nights where you're playing under the lights or broiling in the day. Or when you finish and you might have won or you might have lost and you line up and get slushies, you give each other high fives and you go on with your day. We can put a lot of numbers on what this means today, but what it means most is imagine all the girls and boys, sons and daughters of Kingsport way into the future who's going to take these fields and play and learn sportsmanship and teamwork and build memories of their home and childhood growing up. Building roots that they want to come back to, building a foundation that will be the foundation that the future will continue to be built on. That was done because of the leadership of this town in this place that could have made decisions in a variety of ways but chose to do this today. And I am just absolutely proud to represent Eastman, who played a small part in helping to get this done. My sincere thanks to the leadership of Kingsport and more to the community, because at the end of the day, our leaders would tell you if it weren't for the community, we couldn't get this done. Dr. Nolan, thank you. You cannot build a foundation without education. It cannot happen. You need education. You need a marching band too. But thank you so much. I hope you get a chance today to run around, take a slide on the second base, and to say somewhere down the road that you were here today when this happened, because you will look back, I promise you, on today. You won't necessarily remember the rain, but you'll remember the feeling of being around people dedicated for common good, and there's nothing that beats that in the world. Thank you.
David likes enthusiasm, doesn't he? I'm ready to take the fields. Thank you.
Play ball.
Play ball, yes. Before we cut the ribbon, I want to recognize one other person, the Mayor of the Sullivan County, Mayor Richard Venable. Mayor, thank you very much we need county support. And now, Mr. McCart, I think we're ready to cut a ribbon.
Let's give everybody a chance to get pictures. Then on the count of 3, we'll cut the ribbon. Don't cut your finger off, please.
No, sure. Thank you first.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.